Rebecca Lloyd. I'm part of the BAER team, which stands for Burned Area Emergency Response. The BAER team are a team of specialists and resource experts that are called to assess the post-fire condition once the emergency of the actual fire is over. So typically at the time of containment or near containment, or when large fire growth is considered over. That time you have fire suppression repair beginning, and soon after that, a BAER team is called. The primary mission of the BAER team is to assess what the post-fire storm response will be to BAER critical values. BAER critical values are values on Forest Service lands, with the most important being life and safety of both Forest Service staff and the public, the property and infrastructure, BAER natural resources, which can include fisheries, water quality, and native plant communities, the threat of weeds following a fire, and cultural resources. So when a BAER team is called, it is made up of experts in each of these disciplines. The team spends several days in the field assessing the burn severity. One of the primary products is the soil burn severity map that's produced by the BAER team. The post-fire response is determined not only by how the fire affected trees, which we often think, because that's what we see first, but also what happened to the soils. And sometimes those can be different. You can have high burn severity where the trees have not been as impacted, or more commonly you'll see higher mortality on trees, but maybe the fire moved through so quickly the time on the soils didn't do as much damage. So the fire residence time on the soils meant the soils are not as burned. So the two together determine post-fire response. The BAER team assesses how these burn conditions will react in different storm conditions. So a 1.5-inch rainfall storm before the fire came may have been nothing, but maybe after the fire, without the vegetation and with burned soils, you could see flood conditions. So that's what the BAER team is doing. They're calculating how the different storm conditions will impact BAER critical values. And at the end of the modeling, so it goes field work, and then we assess the conditions and the modeling storm scenarios and using our computer models. And then the BAER team will recommend a suite of mitigation treatments that the forest can implement to help protect those values. That may be something as simple as closing a road because the potential debris flow or storm response will be so high that protecting life and safety has to take precedence. Or it can be something simpler, changing the size of a culvert. Maybe a culvert was sized appropriately before the fire, and the culvert size is now too small for what will be the increased runoff after the fire, and the BAER team will recommend a larger culvert, and that can be implemented as part of the BAER treatments. There's a suite of treatments from culverts to road closures to sometimes slope treatments to help prevent soil erosion, as well as going into the burned areas and treating for the potential of encroachment of invasive weed species into what's now a more vulnerable burned area.